A very special good morning to you. Welcome once again to Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. Thank you very much, Richie. Have yourself a wonderful day. And also, Audley, have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you so very much for joining us on the bridge. Those who have joined us on the bridge, wherever you are, whether you've joined us on the frequencies, whether you've joined us on the internet, wherever you've joined us, it's always a pleasure to have you. Of course, you know what we always say and what we always mean. You come as you are. We're going to be having very soon Kadene Gray, and she is my guest soon. Ready, Vaughn? Okay, so we're ready. So, Kadene?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Good afternoon it is. It's 15 minutes after 12. Good afternoon and welcome to Untengle on the Bridge 99 FM. How you do?
I am wonderful, Elise. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thanks. And thank you for accepting our invitation. So you are originally from Montego Bay, St. James. Tell us about your community, school, all of that. Just give us a little bit.
Well, I'm actually from Hanover originally. I grew up in Lucy. I went to Whitehall Prep, and then I went to Westwood High for high school. I graduated. I went to Herbert Martin for sixth form, and then I went to the University of the West Indies for to study my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology.
Okay, all right. So that's a little bit about your early days. So
Yes.
you started working when, and then when were you actually laid off?
Well, I started working immediately after college. I started working in 2012, and then I worked various jobs from call center to hotel, and then I went into HR in the hotel, and then I was laid off in 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic.
Okay. A lot of people think that few people, not a lot anymore, but a lot of people used to think that once you graduate from university, you're set in life and, you know, you have a job waiting patiently on you, the money is excellent, and life is just wonderful. Was that your experience?
That was not my experience at all. That is actually not the case for many persons who graduate from university. I mean, a lot of us have student loans, and we're not even given jobs with enough salary to cover the monthly loan. So, and I studied psychology, which is not even something that is, you know, widely available in Jamaica. So, no, that was not the case for me. I started out as a call center agent right after university, and I had to try and, you know, make my monthly payments for student loans out of the little that I was getting. So it's not the same for everybody.
Okay. It's very few people have a different experience. And even as we talk about
Yeah.
Jamaica, you know, it is even the student loan thing is even worse outside of Jamaica, because when you hear people, particularly in the United States, and talking about the kind of student loans that they have to be paying back way up into their senior years, still paying back student loan, it is really ridiculous.
Yeah, I think even Barack Obama said it was when he became a president that he was able to pay off his student loans. So it's not easy.
It's not. All right. So, where were you working at the time of COVID-19 when you were laid off?
I was working at Royal Town Resort. I
Okay.
was working as a recruiter there, and we were laid off for 6 months, and then I went back to work in October.
Okay, so it wasn't that long.
I mean, it doesn't sound that long, but you know,
Yeah.
day by day seems really long.
Yeah, look here. You're talking to the converted. It don't sound long, but it's 6 months and not paying a bill.
Yeah,
And that's
and you have
long.
loan, and you have this, and you have that. You have to eat. It is long.
Absolutely. Trust me, 6 months sounds like, except when you're paying bills. Anyway, you struggle with depression, or should I say struggled with depression. Did you struggle with depression before this, or was it triggered after this?
Well, it was during the time away from work that I realized that I have been struggling with it for a while, and it was functional depression. And it was because of my knowledge of psychology where I realized that, I actually am struggling with it, because before the pandemic, a little before the pandemic, I would have thoughts of death and suicide and so forth. I think the earliest knowledge I have of suicidal thought was when I was 11, when I just started high school, and it was a change for me. But I can say that it struggled, and I no longer struggle with depression or anxiety. So I'm really grateful for that.
Okay, but you said something that's very interesting because it's obvious to me that someone can be suffering from depression and don't know.
Yes, that is very true. And I think it's a lot to do with our culture, thinking that we have to be strong all the time. So we shove our emotions aside even when we're feeling sad, and we try to say, oh, well, let me shake it off, let me get a positive attitude. But oftentimes it's really working against us because sometimes we're not able to deal with what we need to do to get past it. And then certain things trigger us, and we lash out on other people, and we behave in a particular way that's not normal, and we accept it, and it's not. Most of the time, we're operating in trauma, and a lot of people don't really realize that. But when we get the help, now we can realize, oh, there is freedom. There is so much more on the other side.
Yeah.
You can live a peaceful life, and it's beautiful.
But I don't want to stay too long on this, but I have to talk about it because, we are in a society that's very cold. We can be very cold. And there are times when people are suffering silently, from trauma and all different manner of evil. And then there comes this individual who just trigger you all day long, and them just
Yeah.
totally, them just don't know what I want. And no matter how you say, okay, I'd rather not talk about that. No man, them would rather talk about, they would rather talk about
Everything else.
just that.
Yeah. And
And
I think the thing is because depression is not something that you can see, or I mean, mental issues are not something that is not something that you can see on a person. People just think that it's okay to say anything and do anything to you because, I went through the same thing, and it didn't affect me in a particular way. That's the kind of attitude that a lot of people
yes,
have, and
yes,
a lot of
yes.
people are not sensitive to other people's emotions, and they're like, "Oh, you're so sensitive. What is it that you could be going through?" Well, I go for the juice, don't always go for the gander. So
You,
you
you're,
have to be
you're
mindful of
so
other
right.
people.
And there's certain things that you can manage that they can't.
Absolutely,
And people
because
just
our upbringings are different.
yes, yes, and we're stronger in different areas or weaker in different areas, and people just need to come to terms with that. I think there's a lot of work left to be done here
Yes.
in Jamaica about educating people about depression and mental illness and triggering people and that kind of thing. So, all right. So take us through how you overcame these issues because there are many people still struggling, getting treatment, on medication, and it just seems like them just not overcoming. How did you overcome?
I I had to go back to my source. I had to go back to God. I had to pray a lot. I went to therapy. But also I went back to my first love, which was art. And I started painting. I started to use my art to inspire myself, to tell myself the things that I always wanted to hear, that I am enough. And even though the persons around us are telling us these things, it's important that our self-talk is a positive one. So I had to start telling myself that I am loved, I am important, I am blessed, and I did that through my art. And the more I painted, the more it was therapy for me, and it helped me. And I remember one day, the suicidal thoughts were coming, and I had to say, God, I'm not gonna go this way, and I'm gonna need you to step in for me because I am not gonna take my own life. There is a lot more that you're placed in me, and I know I do have a purpose. So I'm gonna need you to fix this because clearly I can't do this on my own.
I love
And that's
that.
the moment. That's the moment that it started to turn for me.
You said so many things, Kadeen, and you said it so quickly. But, we need to slow it down a little bit. Because you first of all said you needed to go back to yourself. A lot of
Yes.
times we are so alienated from who we are and we don't even know.
That is what COVID. I mean, the initial part of COVID, being isolated, in the lockdowns and so forth, and having to face myself. I was able to rediscover who I was. I was able to see who, my toxic traits, my ways that I needed to change and become one with who I am. And the moment I was able to become one with who I am and see myself, and it's an excruciating process, and a lot of people are not able to go through it because it's painful getting to know who you are.
Yes.
But once I've gone through that period, and I'm now so enamored by who I am and who God created me to be, there is
Wow.
freedom.
Wow. You know, another thing you said, quick, 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 and we're slowing it down again. You said you found out that you are enough, you found out that you are loved, and then a crucial thing that you said is that you had to go to the Most High and say to Him, whatever it is you said. Because a lot of people just feel that the Most High is there just waiting for run back at you for fix all of your problem. Them are not no go. So because we do have a thing named free will. And if you are
Yes.
quite fine with whatever you're going through, I mean, fine and more you. But no,
He
no.
wants us to come to Him.
Exactly. So that is another crucial thing that you said a while ago when you said, I went to him and asked him to do X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. You know, so I'm just slowing it down for you. All right. All right. So, okay, now, so let us talk about how Kadene Gray Arts and Apparels was born.
Yes, so I mean, Kadene Gray Art and Apparel came by, as I said, my love for art. I've been drawing and doodling and painting my whole life, and I realized that I had something to say, and this was the purpose that God placed in me, and this was the medium that He was going to use to get His message across. Because even though I was the one experiencing it, He allowed this experience to be a testimony for other people. And so I believe that, the more I heard Him saying, you need to do this, you need to do this, and He used the person closest to me to help me to identify that. And the more I did it, the more doors opened, and I said, okay, clearly I can't run from this anymore. So I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and it's something that I think I want to just use to inspire people. It's not just about money for me. It's not about money for me. It's about inspiring other people, reminding who they are, activating their God-given purpose, and leading them towards the place that they know to be, because I know how important it was for me to get to that point.
All
So
right.
my pieces are inspirational, aspirational. They're verses from the Bible, some of the stuff from my clothing line, just to remind people of how God sees them.
All right. Remind them also of how creativity actually helps to soothe your mind. How did art and craft and creating stuff help to soothe your mind?
I believe it goes back to coming back to yourself. This is a natural talent for me. So when you come back to who you are, that's the most natural place, I think. And it's second nature for me. It's not something that I have to study. It's not something that I have to go and research when it comes on to creativity and art. So that was helpful. I'm not sure if I answered your question. So that was how it helped me.
Right. And so you're suggesting that whatever it is that your God-given talent is, whatever it is that you do naturally is where you need to go.
Yes, yes, because I strongly believe that we are all born with our purpose. So whatever comes naturally, if you're a talker, if you're someone who gives jokes, if you're someone who paints, sings, if that comes naturally to you, that is what you're supposed to do. That is what you're created to do.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go a little deeper now into what it is that you create. And I don't know if there are any pictures, but I'd love to see what it is that you create and how is it doing.
Okay. So I recently registered a business just last year, and I'm grateful for that. I came up with about 5 different lines for my art pieces, and now we're evolving into new stuff for this new year. I created the New Art collection, the Love Is collection, the Jamaican collection, Christmas collection, and the Psalm 23 collection. Those were for my art pieces. And the clothing line is saying, I am His, which means I am God. So you'll say, I am blessed, I am favored, I am loved. And it also has a hashtag blessed line.
Wonderful. And how has the public responded?
I've been getting good responses. I think it was at the end of last year that I was going through all of my orders for last year, and I realized that there wasn't a month that I didn't have something to do with regards to painting, and I feel really blessed because with artists, it's not always the same. That's not always the case. I mean, sometimes we're struggling artists or starving artists, as we like to say. So I felt really blessed to know that the public is responding. People are reaching out. People that I don't even know about, they're reaching out. They're making orders, and they want to see more.
Right. It's a wonderful thing to be formally trained, and I'll ask you a little later if you're formally trained. But what I find to be just so exciting, especially these days, is that for people who are always looking for employment, particularly these days, what really gives you that kind of thing to do is what you're naturally good at, because people not necessarily handing employment on a platter and saying, here, see here.
No, no, and as a recruiter, I can say that it's kind of tedious getting a job nowadays because there's so much that you have to go through to get a job. But I think if a lot of people are able to tap into their natural ability and learn how they can market it and how they can get it to meet a need in society, then they'll be able. Because I see people doing some things to make money and they're making a lot of money, and you're like, wow, I wouldn't even think about that. But it's not my purpose; it's theirs.
Yeah. I hear you loud and clear. Because what you did at university was valuable because it was information. It helped you to understand yourself. It gave you more information. But sometimes that's really all it does. And when I'm saying all it does, I'm not minimalizing it at all because it's a wonderful thing. But it's information. But it's not the end all and be all of your existence.
It isn't, and I don't regret going to university. I'm actually studying my master's in psychology right now, but it's not something that I regret, and I probably will never use it to the magnitude that I thought I would need to 10 years ago. But I am grateful for that experience. It has allowed me to understand people. It has allowed me to understand myself. It has allowed me to pick up on a lot of things quicker.
Yes.
Going on in society and helped me to be a little empathetic as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
It,
that's necessary.
it's interesting though, Kadeen, how way below the veil we can be and not know it. How little information we can have about our own life, who we really are, and don't know.
That's true. That is true. I think in psychology we call that the Joe Harry window, where there's a lot of the unknown of ourselves that we don't even try to discover. We just accept what the school says we are, our parents says we are, and what society says we are, and we don't really know and try to figure out who we are at the core.
Absolutely. And sometimes we gaslight ourselves,
Yes, we do that.
you
We
know.
are our biggest enemies sometimes.
Absolutely. All right. So as we wind this interview down, what would you like to say to someone who either has been through what you have been through, is going through what you have gone through, and or is now free of what you went through?
The only thing I could say is, and I'm going to say this in patois, God now left your road. And I say this to say, I mean, I even put that in one of my collections of my clothing line. God now left your road.
I
And
love that.
it's amazing, sometimes I had to look back on my life to say there were periods when I thought I wasn't going to get through certain things, and I'm here now. So anytime another challenge come, I can look back and say, hey, remember last year when you were going through this? Look at where you are now. You went through it, and it doesn't even matter anymore. So that's the kind of attitude, and that's what I keep saying to myself to help me get through certain kind of challenges. And when I'm faced with it, I meet it head on now rather than be timid towards it. I go
Right.
head on because I know that he's holding me, he's guiding me through it. So, I mean, to anybody who's out there who's listening, who is going through something similar or has gone through something similar and is heading to the next phase in their life, scared or timid or not knowing what to do, no matter what, God, now let's hear a word.
And you're saying some things that make sense also in terms of what is expected of you. Because although God now left you a road, there's a responsibility that you have for yourself. You have to face what you're going through. You have to call it a spade. And you just call a spade. And you have to ask for what you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this experience has taught me that there's so much in this world that is already ours, and we just have to go out there and claim it and take it because God gave us all of this, and it's ours to take, and we have to go out there for it. We can't expect that people are it's gonna drop into our laps. We have to go out there and take it and trust that God
Absolutely.
will give it to us.
Absolutely. I am sure, like the rest of us who have been through tribulations, we would not choose a day of it. But having had to
Yeah,
go through it, it has made us stronger. And not only that, but we are now equipped to help others go through their trials.
absolutely.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
It was lovely talking to you. Continue to be strong and all the best with the business.
Thank you so much, Elise.
Okay, you're welcome. Wow, beautiful. Kadene Gray, and she is a CEO of Kadene Gray Arts and Apparels. You heard her story. We untangled her story, and what a story it is. I certainly hope you can learn something from it, or you can help someone who is going through it to learn something. Ms. Holcomb. You know, I saw one of my colleagues on Tuesday, and she is what Jamaican man would call fluffy. And let me tell you something. I think she probably listening here now. She had on a dress, right? And the dress show the legs. And when me say she look nice, me mean say she look nice. I hear the thing now. Sometimes we see it and hear it we say, no, she look nice. No, that not going to help. That not going to help at all. You need to talk loud, and say, my girl, oh, you hot so this morning. Yeah, and so we need to deal with the thing. Because all of we have issues, No matter, yeah. Thank you, Paul. Because no matter how you feel like, say, that person they have it going on, them feel a way about something upon them. Remember me tell you that. I could have Miss World. Miss World, I say, boy, the bottom part of your foot little too mager. I just saw this something go. So,
Miss USA had committed suicide.
who?
Miss USA.
Same thing. Same thing. Vanna, tell me, Miss USA tried to or committed? Committed suicide.
Just a week, a couple days ago.
You see that? And I did not even know that. So I Miss USA that. And she's supposed to have every body part intact. But what we really need to have intact is what's going on inside. So we just want to say thank you so very much. Thank you for talking the truth. And continue to talk your truth. Because you know something about talking your truth? When you talk your truth, it resonates with so many other people who thought they were alone. Who thought that they were the only people who had that truth that they're facing. So trust me when me tell you, say talk the truth, talk the truth. Me say talk the truth.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Beauregard. How are you? Where you love boy?
I was watching you enjoying that song just now. It was a rock.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
man.
All's well?
All's well, all's fine over here in New York City. It's rain and more rain all day today. We give thanks for that because it's gonna end up washing away some of the snow. But freezing rain overnight, and sometimes that's not a very good thing because that interferes with the power lines, and people might lose power when you have freezing rain.
Wow. Oh, so many things to think about. Before we get into the seriousness, me tell Vaughn today, Me tell Vaughn a while ago, say, what you know? Beauregard, I go take the news. You understand me? Because me can't compete with Beauregard news them. You understand me? But before you take the news over Beauregard,
Yes.
me love your ballad. But, no, what other man, it might sound personal, but it's all right. My mama.
Yes.
Look here now, me love your ballad. But I'm a little worried sometimes about the temperature and the ballad. So me kind of love me kind of love the top more because especially them time of year, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't go outside like that with my head. Exposed to the cold air. I always wear a tam or a hat.
Okay.
I have something on my head, a pullover, something to
Okay.
protect me from the cold. Cause you can't trust the weather, Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it feels good, sometimes it's freezing. And, you leave your neck open for a second and you start cough for the next couple of days.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that you have, you're prepared for the weather. All right.
Yes, indeed.
All yours.
Well, today President Biden is in New York City to meet with the man who has been calling himself the Biden of Brooklyn, which is Mayor Eric Adams. And they will sit down to discuss the increase in violence in the city. And Mayor Eric Adams' top priority for this meeting is to secure more federal help to combat the gun trafficking that's been going on in New York City. And he vows to leave no stones unturned, as according to what he says, to get the city safe again. The president will also meet with Governor Kathy Hochul also to discuss some other things pertaining to the city, COVID-19, and all those other stuff that they have to discuss. In other news, we're hearing that the leader of ISIS, was killed today in a U.S. Special Forces operation, and that was announced by the president also. So,
You know something, as you talk about these gun laws and gun rules, you realize that most of the guns that are found here in Jamaica are traced back to the U.S. though, right?
yes.
And you know that makes it very strange, because them want to try to tell us about drugs for guns and Haiti and all of that. I don't know where Haitians get the gun them from. I don't know if US, but almost a 90% of the guns that are here in Jamaica come from which part under there.
True indeed, and that's been going on for years and decades now. I don't know, they haven't been able to, slow down what's the import of guns in Jamaica. I know they're trying, but it seems like there are more guns on the island now.
Yeah, you know something that I find a little strange though. Every time there's an outcry about guns and crime, then all of a sudden them find well, if I gun on the wharf, and then as soon as the outcry died down, then nobody find no more on the wharf again. you know.
And I can also relate that to this news with the ISIS member being killed. When COVID started, I was surprised to see that terrorists actually went on lockdown as well. To know that we haven't heard anything about ISIS during this whole COVID-19 situation. It's just funny to me to see that, the terrorists them actually went into quarantine as well. I guess they feared for losing their lives.
I guess, yeah, because it's the human beings. And that's a not so gentle reminder that no matter how I want to go on, them are human being too. And them can catch COVID, them can dead, then them family can sick and all these things.
Right.
Go on again.
Well, we're bigging up the Reggae boys, even though they lost and they're now out of the qualifier for the World Cup. But, we continue to cheer on for the bobsled team who's going to be in Beijing. They're already in Beijing, and that starts tomorrow, the Winter Olympics. And, it's just a good thing for Jamaica. Jamaica need a cheer up right now. So to see the bobsled team there once again doing their thing and representing the island and waving that flag, we're happy about that, because Jamaica definitely needs some form of cheer up right now.
Yeah, and Jamaicans in the diaspora.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Jamaicans all over the world,
Yeah,
Jamaicans need a cheer up right now.
Absolutely. One of the sweetest things, especially back in the day, we here in Jamaica, we have red, green, and gold back in the day upon we care. And one of the sweetest things is to be where you are. And Jamaicans have them Jamaican colors in them care.
Yes,
and that was just so sweet,
Always.
Yeah,
always.
man, always so sweet.
I have one more story to share with you, and this one involves COVID-19 once again. They arrested 2 nurses in Long Island who have been selling fake vaccination cards to customers, and they have made about 1.5 million in 3 months off of fake COVID-19 vaccination cards. Now, one of the nurses that was arrested, her husband is also an NYPD officer, and he's also now being investigated to see if he has been, helping her out into getting the fake cards out, and they're wondering if, other officers are involved. And, it's just a whole big investigation right now. 1.5 million, they found $900,000 in cash in one of the homes of the nurses. So it's a big investigation that's going on.
Are these American citizens?
Yes.
I asked this, because, when this whole thing came out, the first thing that everybody say is, Lord, I must say them not go trust any card we come out of Jamaica, because, say we card any, we a card.
We are going to find a way.
We always find a way for card.
Yeah.
but, a lot of people overseas have been telling me, it's just interesting how people all over the world are cardies. And I know just we one. Because a Bridget tell me, say, they're foreign. He might tell me, say, him not take no more vaccination. He might go find a man to take film. No, look here. You think I don't joke me around, serious thing. And the man, it's a straight face. The man I tell me with a straight face.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I say, that's something they go.
Boy, I'm sure people have found many ways to, see how they can. I don't know if they got through with it, but people might have been scheming just like these 2 nurses all along, and people are probably still scheming. But
long time. I just show them to get catch.
Exactly. But we're encouraging people that they should not, mess with this thing, because it was made a federal crime. Once you're caught with a fake vaccination card.
It defeats the whole purpose. It really does.
Yes.
Big arms house, So we have Annette Brissett as our guest. And you know Annette
Nice.
Brissett?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
You know, she has been described as, let me tell you what my sister just described her as. A very good way to describe her. She listening here, you know. All right. Annette, you there, my darling? Annette? Well,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
let me tell you what you have been described as. A hidden treasure. A hidden treasure. Well, we'll take you out of hiding for those who don't know you, right? So,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Blessings.
welcome to the Bridge 99 FM, my sister.
Yeah, man. Blessings, you know.
All right. So we're starting right. Oh, by the way, we're streaming live to the tri-state. So my co-host, he hosts the program on Irie Jam in New York City. So he's going to be doing this interview with me. All right.
All right, no problem.
All right. Fine.
Good afternoon, Annette Brissett.
Good afternoon. Good
How you
afternoon.
doing?
All right.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, one of the questions, the first question I want to ask, we're going to take a break at 20 minutes after 1, and then we'll pick up again. But the first question I want to ask you is, you're one of the thousands of singers, generally, and particularly here in Jamaica, that sang originally in the church as a child. Tell us about your memories. I know you're there foreign now for a while, but tell us about your memory and the influence of the Jamaican church on your music.
Yeah. We start from there. All right. If I have a good memory right about now, when I went to church, as you know, all of us looking for things, you know, looking for ways to bring your soul together with your body. And somehow when you're young, you know, your foot lead you and your eyes guide you. So we go anywhere my eyes go, my foot them going on. So one day this church, you know, and the church are gone and somehow, you know, while passing the church, it's like a pull me, you know. So anyways, long story short, when I went inside there, it was like amazing. I never see the people, it's just the music, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where, you know, it kind of showed me a light from the sun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you got a chance to actually sing or do music in church from them days there?
Yeah, man. Opportunity came and I took it.
Yeah, beautiful. And you know, describe to me what it is, because there are so many people. I mean, there's that spellbound about church music. You said that you never even see the people, but you hear the music. What was it about the music that capture you?
Your heart beat to the same beat as music. It's like, you know, to tup. Anyway that going, you boop, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me that was at least.
Right, right, beautiful. I'm listening to you, and I'm just remembering so many things about how you present yourself and how different you are. We're not going to hear the regular kind of conversation from Annette. We can promise that from now, right? Because Annette is I wouldn't call you eccentric, Annette, but you see the brilliance where you carry. Don't argue with me. You see the brilliance where you carry. Now go make your reason like anybody else. Believe, and people just need to just accept it and know, say that is Annette Brissett, right? So
You don't have to change my diet. You don't have to change my diet because you don't like what I eat.
all right, we're going to take a break and then we come forward now. You don't know. Barrage a question, Panio. All right, Annette. So you migrated with your family to New York City when you were about 12 years old. And interestingly, you later began your career as a drummer in a reggae band. Let's talk about that.
All right. So, we, what can I tell you? What do you want to know?
Why
Like,
drummer? And why? And tell us about the reggae band. Tell us everything about the drumming. Who teach you? And why drumming?
like I said, the heart of, you know, beat or pull it in, you know, and the music, everything have a timing still.
Right.
So, you know, I wanted to get to the heart of the timing,
Right.
you know, because that's where my heart, my inner feeling coming from, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I search and I find that, you know, and I say, whoa. And with that connection, it's like hooking up an amplifier to speakers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, so now you hook up, it's like a puzzle. You just keep going through until it leading up in a position where, everything come together.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So drum is like a heartbeat for you.
Yeah, man, that's where everything beginning in the church.
Absolutely. I hear you loud and clear. All right. And the band that you formed was actually called Steppin'Razor. Tell us about that band.
Okay, that was like I'm not being racial or anything. That was a white all female band.
It was a white band? So you were the only black woman?
Yeah, man. Peter Touch gave that group the name Steppin'Razor.
Okay. Wow. So what did it feel like being a drummer, first of all, and then secondly, being a drummer in a band of women, and then thirdly, being a drummer in a band of white women?
Yeah, like I said, while I was finding myself and, discovering music, they discovered me too while finding myself. And before you know it, the way they look at me, I was still learning, but they look at me like, yo, we'll find something, So at that time, being a drummer in that group, I get to see the whole America that way, because them tour everywhere, you know what I mean? It was like a deadly but wicked little band, man. I tell you.
Of women. Oh my goodness, that must have been something else. So you know what? I knew about the band, but I honestly didn't know, Annette, that you were the only black woman in the band. Didn't know that.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, man. You go through enough things, man. I tell you.
And that's another thing about you. You know, stereotype at all. If a group of white women who have a band say, Annette, come and join with, and your spirit, dead, you're gone.
Let me tell you something. You see, you pass a house today, right? And it is just painted pink, and tomorrow you pass it white. But if you don't remember the pink paint, you won't remember the house.
Yeah.
So when me coming from with music is where me is today. It brought me to where I'm at today.
Absolutely.
I have to go through that,
And the beautiful thing that we need people to know is that your multi-talented personality also affords you the ability to play other instruments. What other instruments do you play?
Let me see. Can I help myself, Look up piano, look up guitar, look up bass, look up bongo drum. Every little thing I can take of that beat like a heart. That's me.
Yeah. In my opinion, the finest instrument that you have is your distinct and sultry voice. That voice is like from you hear that the voice that if you don't know who, you can't say, I so and so that, you can't call no name. You have to know, say, Annette Brissett that. Did you always want to sing?
No. But music, like I said, is like the amplifier, you know what I mean? You plug everything into it. And then when you plug everything, you plug your cassette deck, you plug in your CD, you plug in your turntable, even a mic. When you put all them things together, it's like, you're like, wow, you not even know. It's like a maze you're going through, and every little corner, you catch up, you put a little spot so you can remember it. You know what I mean? It's like that. You go through, and when you go through, you come back and you connect the dots so you don't get lost in it, So out of that, now you find that you can plan something else, which is, I never know. I just fooling around one day and go burp, and the burp became a bilge.
No, so Annette, you're going to tell me, because I'm going to play more of your music, You never know, said that instrument called your voice was that exceptional. You never know.
No, because like I said, going along playing a drum, being a drummer behind a lot of artists, especially artists who I grew up listening to, who I admire. You're while you're playing with these people, these brilliant artists, you're while you're playing drums, and out there humming, you gather all of this information like a computer, and then when you sit down, you decide to, boy, make you say, you say, all right, you want to do all the things to yourself, and you put it together. Somebody coming from outside and make say, yo, and you're like, what the hell, excuse me, but you're like, something wrong with you, man, and that person take it to the next person. But I never come out to be no singer at all. That's why I'm so reserved, doing it. 'Cause
Yes.
I don't think I am a singer.
You know, that explains a lot, Annette, because the way how the world sees you, the way how I see you as a genius. And then I'm like, Annette, and you're like, yeah. You know?
But the thing, something wrong with people not knowing that that young lady before me said, we all have this thing inside of us. We don't take our time to go inside and find it.
Yes.
Fortunately, unfortunately, COVID has brought that out in a lot of people, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
But to me, COVID is like a brand new beginning where people never used to look into themselves. It stopped them and slow them down and say, yo, 1, 2, 3, and a 3, 2, 1.
Absolutely. You start hearing birds. You never ever used to hear birds really consciously hearing birds before.
I used to hear them,
You
because I'm
would.
not a fast mover.
Because you're a musician.
That's what you said.
And the birds are singing. So just interestingly, just curious, who told you that you could sing? I mean, since you never know yourself, who inspired you?
It's funny. Steppin'Razor, one day they were doing a cover tune. And one of the notes was off, but you're hearing the note from around the corner. I wasn't in the studio. And I was, and the girl passed us and said, that's the note. Come here. And she pulled me in the studio. I never know, And next thing you know, them put it out the same way I did it. I was like, oh, holy crap.
Wow.
Yeah, and from then them like, Annette, but to me, them it never really moved me. But like, go ahead and be a singer, no. My thing is about being around the boat, starting something from scratch and finishing it and hearing the result. That's my thing.
Right. All right. So we talked about you being a drummer. We've talked about you using your voice as an instrument, and another crown that you wear is songwriter. For those who don't know, it was Annette Brissett who penned the song I Shall Sing for the reggae queen, Sister Marcia Griffiths. Let's talk about that.
You see, like I said, I was playing with a lot of artists who I admire, which Marcia was one of them. And when the opportunity came for me to play as a drummer behind her, it was like an element that, like I said, it wasn't like I set out to be the greatest or, blah, 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 blah. I just wanted to be a part of,
Yeah.
So when I got behind playing for Marcia and she yelled it out like, yo, and, she make it big. I wanted to go behind the drum and hide.
I must have loaded man.
No. So she said. And when the little girl was playing, it was a club named Dynasty in New York. And she said, and ladies and gentlemen, you will not believe who is playing this drum. And she pulled me out from behind the drum. Listen, diarrhea never have nothing over me.
We can just manage because Marcia loud, and you not loud.
No. No, my Lord, no one to me.
Yeah.
But when she did that, I was like, oh my God, really? But I respect my step up and bend on my head. And it's funny after the concert, going through the little door in the back. That's where the people was. Let me tell you, Elise. When we opened the door and the people said, "See there!" It's like them say, "Run!"
Run, Annette, run.
Mama, do one more foot leg, man. I must say, no, sir. I turn back.
I can't bother. See, Annette, run.
Must them Christian or turn back, Mama. I was a Christian that night.
Oh my goodness, you turn back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. So I know that original when you left Jamaica, you spent a long time in New York. So when did you actually relocate to South Florida?
In the 80s, man, in 87, I think, 88. But before that, I came down here and worked with the great trainer, which was Kingdom back in the days too. I was working alongside with Martin Store, and work with a lot of big artists there so too. You know, came down in the 80s, and never leave.
Right. Okay. I know, for those who don't know, I know Annette very well. And Annette has a studio in her home in Well, sorry, but never met them know. You have a nice studio in your home in South Florida. And if that then could talk, it would have sing because, because a whole heap of stories we're hearing at that den. And one of the stories that we would always hear, you would always talk a lot about Robbie Shakespeare. I know you loved him dearly. Tell us a bit about your memories of your brethren.
Where you started, Robbie?
Say that again, Annette.
Robbie,
Say that again.
where do you start? Where you started, Robbie? Robbie is a monarch in his own right. Robbie is a king in his own throne. Meaning that man can hear and see talent, and him go for the not the one that everybody like, and him give those who nobody know opportunities and chances. For that, I love him because him hear things where only the trained hear, the trained mind and ear can go. And when it's like him don't search for it, him listen for it. The difference with Robbie and a lot of producers. You know, and the funniest part I remember about him is him being so real, Elise. He was a real man, a real person,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm going to grow up to love him real like that. Yeah, man, there's no other word to say,
To be honest with you, Annette, when I first heard that Robbie Shakespeare passed, I thought of his family first, and I thought of you next because you're not a gushing person. You don't express yourself in glowing terms. But when you start talking about Robbie Shakespeare, hey, everybody knows that Annette Brissett love Robbie Shakespeare.
Yeah, man. That's my brother that I never knew existed until music, Seriously.
Yeah. I don't want to be craving and yam off the whole of the interview because there's Beauregard there. Beauregard, is there anything you want to ask?
Yes, absolutely. Sister Annette, living here in the States, what influence did that have on your music at the time?
What influence what had on music? I'm sorry.
What influence did living here in the United States have on your music at the time?
Reality. Your dream that all you think you could see in your mind became real. And when you come to America, you wake up. It wake you up, it wake you up to the things that you always dream of and the things that you see, imaginary things in your head, it come to life, you know what I mean?
Right.
You don't imagine anymore, it is what it is.
I was taking a listen to the album Annette with that you recorded with Sly and Robbie, and it had some amazing tracks on there. I really and truly do love that album.
Yes, thank you very much, man. That means a lot, thank you.
Yes. You did a song with Barry Salmon, I'll Be There. How did that one come about?
Well, once again, the trained ear, Robbie Shakespeare. Robbie came to me and said, Annette, give me a song. You do a song. You do enough song already, but me want to give me Robbie a song. I never take long and far to go. Came back with that and said, I soon come back. And I did him said, dude, do the tune, do a demo, and he come and said, all right, give me a verse and you do a verse. I said, no problem. And Robbie come back in about a month and Robbie said, Annette, come on, I want you to listen to something. And carry me outside and turn on him carry man. I'd lost my legs for a moment. I never have any, I never have any feeling in my knees from my knee go down. When I heard Barry Salmon on the song, I was blown aback, so.
Okay. Any more Beauregard?
Not yet, not yet.
All right.
I'm thinking.
All right. So one thing I know for sure is that you're always working. You're always working on a project, whether you're singing, producing, whatever. What is your most recent project, and or what are you working on now?
Right now, I'm about finishing up an album I'm doing with Todd's record in Jamaica. I'm also working on, some local artists here in Fort Lauderdale. Because, like the young lady said before, listen, we cannot do anything without our men. I want the man them know, say, look here. Sit back and make we entertain, man. Yeah, man.
I love that.
Give us strength so we can empower you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't criticize me when all we want to do is empower the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give it the strength, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here now doing a production with a lot of local female that, if you hear the horror stories, it go on and on. Like I said, not only in America, but all over the world, but especially Jamaica and America, England and Canada. There's a lot of talent in women, but the suppression of the motivation of women is not there. No, we can't beat up man, because them need help too.
Yeah, man.
But let us be your empowerment by empowering us too.
Right.
So you can be stronger, so we can be your strength too.
Absolutely. So well said.
And Sister Annette, what would you say to the women about the uniting and stopping most of the wars and squabbles that we see going on?
You see, it depends on which part of the fence you're there.
Okay.
In this thing where you call reggae music, like, you have no disrespect. You have in the Rasta thing, you have 12 tribes. It come like reggae music now have 12 tribes. They have the dance all over the so you have the roots, you have the Rasta, you have so much general reggae music when under the same roof for one thing where I say reggae, but I cannot speak for those who are, because I don't want to be amongst those who do so. Music is to heal the heart and the spirit, bring the world together, not just one particular race.
Is there
so right
such
now,
a
that fight is not my fight. Is a fight individually that they're going through themselves. But them have to claim.
Exactly.
Right.
Hold that question, Beauregard. We're going to take a break, and then when we come forward, you ask. All right?
Okay.
So, for those who have just joined us, okay, go ahead, Beauregard. Ask your question.
Oh, I was going to ask you this question. We see that COVID has basically held the world hostage for the past 2 years. How have you been handling the pandemic?
Well, them say, you have to wash your hand and cover your face. Me I was always that type of person, and I wasn't the type of person to walk up to you and in your face and everything. So I practiced that for a long time. I don't go out there and I don't mingle. That's the thing. When people come in here, out of respect, what I do, them do too. So, that's how I handle it, with respect.
Nice.
Wonderful. And you know what is good to Annette? It's good to know that the world could join us on our quarantine.
Listen, people are like children, right? They're like children, and I think this is how we have to form leadership. Because you say people need guidance, So, if we do follow the guidelines, I think we could get rid of the thing. But you have some big people, where overgrown kids, we just decide that, rules don't apply to them. In everything we do, we have to have respect for what we do and how we do it. No, you have to stay far from those who don't have no respect for the things them do. And it's not a joke, I don't look at it as a joke. So, you have to treat your body with respect.
And you also mentioned just now that we all need guidance. As a Jamaican living outside of Jamaica, what is your view on Jamaica right now, the state of Jamaica?
Emergency.
What you say, Annette?
Emergency.
Okay, I hear you. Um, Let me share with you, Annette, some of what our listeners have been saying, all right? Because they've been listening to this interview. And this one says, ultimate respect to my sister Annette Brissett, a musical genius. Continue to shine, sis. Your contribution is immensely appreciated. One love, sis. And that is coming from my sister who actually kicked off the tribute on Tuesday. And that's none other than Sister Carol sending out that one to you. I know
Oh
that would have
God,
nice.
man, oh God.
All right. And
No,
then
no,
this
it's a
one's,
big sister.
I know it's our sister, right? And then this
Yeah.
one says, Annette Brissett, your voice is just unique. You're like a unicorn. And that's coming from Mitzi Excitement. And then this one says, blessed love to one of our unsung queens of positive music. Another epic reasoning, Mamma Elise. What a reason. I'm going to have to draw her out to love it's right. She would have hide that let them let I'm draw her out. Anyway, thank you thank you very much for that,
You never know
Fitzroy.
your artist. You never know your artist. So you can't draw.
No man, me draw you up. Me say, Beauregard. Me say, send a picture. Me go send one when we about tree. Me say, no, send a picture. me say, if you ever know when me go through, we get added on the bridge. But you know, it is all good. It's all good.
Yes, man. You sound, Mr. Gordy, Gord, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thank you and appreciate you for your contribution.
All right. So as we seal off, there are some things that we just want to outline and remind you of the things that we're honoring you for. So for those listening in, we're honoring you for your strength and your persistence and your longevity as a woman in reggae. We're honoring you for your invaluable contribution to the reggae genre itself. We're honoring you for being one of, if not the most multi-talented woman in reggae. And we celebrate you as a powerful woman in reggae. And that's coming from the entire Bridge 99 FM family and the Irie Jam family.
Give time. Mm.
Yeah, man.
Give a big. Tell him, look here, man. If I could be there, the love that would be in the room right now when I leave, it would be like, all of you contagious,
And then, of course, the South Florida family cannot be left out, So, say Sandra texts me from here, and she's like, so, of course, all right, see them, you don't talk, all right? and then my sister Bridget Ruben says, in studio with 90, no bridge for I, unfortunately, but she's the one who says, Sandra says, I feel like crying for joy. She's dramatic already. And it was my sister Bridget who said that you are a treasure, a hidden treasure. And sis, we just love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, people. Thank you. God bless. Love, sisters and brother.
All right. Thanks again. All right. That's absolutely beautiful. And it's exactly what I thought it would be. So, Beauregard, anything else you want to say?
I'm amazed. I'm here trying. I hear someone singing with her voice. I'm trying to pinpoint it. A new artist. I'm going to find out who it is, and then I'll let you know, Mama Kelly.
Please do. Because
her voice is unique, and I hear someone in my head. I'm trying to think who I'm hearing with the voice that is trying to sound like Miss Annette Brissett.
I know exactly what you mean. Because it's a song that you don't hear all the time, but yes, it's not unfamiliar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I hear you. Absolutely. So wonderful talking to Annette and wonderful talking to you. Also, this one says, right now, I'm listening to Annette Brissett on YouTube. Hey, tell her to go and kick it off like a ball and make it roll like a dice. So give thanks again, Beauregard and the Irie Jam family. Thank you very much.
All the time.
All the time, my friend. All the time.
You have a wonderful weekend.
Same to you. All right.
All
and
right.
Keep warm.
I will.
All right.
Take care.
Okay, you too. So we just want to say thank you very much to all who made this show possible today. Want to say enough respect to Kadene Gray. What an interesting conversation. And can I just say, you heard Annette Vaughn. Did you hear Annette keep referring to Kadene's conversation? She kept referring to it. That means people are listening and really soaking in what has been happening. Hi, darling. How are you, Shannon? And then we want to say enough respect also to our woman in reggae. And of course, that is Annette Brissett. It's just a pleasure for us to have Annette Brissett live on the bridge. Want to bless up Beauregard and the Irie Jam listeners and viewers. Want to bless up the Untengle team of Richard Rainford, Master Control Operator. Want to say enough respect to Kevin, who is actually working here now. You still remember Carol said, me no man, me not have nothing else to say to you. Me you not forgot that. Mr. Sister Carol, you listening? Me I tell you, say Kevin still remember about that something that I'm not saying anything else. Want to say enough respect to Romaine, who also worked, and of course my hard-working producer Vaughn Thorpe. I see somebody who beard up. I can't Nikki beard up, sir. I can't Nikki beard up, sir. Okay, all right. So come show up your face, now, man. Come show up your face, now, man. The big producer. So he's gonna be working. He's gonna be working for Nikki. Show Nikki beard up. I'm getting fat. Okay. So all right. So that
you look hot same way, no sister. Yeah, hot, you know.
But what you know? No, hold on a little bit. Who taller than who? Who taller than who? No, serious. No, who taller than who? That's still love Rory. One and only. So still love Rory is going to be working for Nikki. When you said Vaughn today, Friday and Monday.
Rich.
So you know, say him have the tune them and all these things, right? LaFane, my sister. Miss LaFane, my, you know, big up. Oh, you mean somebody never included the Untengle team? And she just quiet and beautiful and sit on the same way and I say, ah! LaFane. Big up yourself, my sister. Heart full of love. Seen? All right.